Welcome to News Laundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. News Laundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a News Laundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of Hafta. It is October 20th, Thursday, and we record this at 3 in the afternoon. And a very happy Diwali to all our listeners. I hope you have a wonderful, brilliant and pollution-free Diwali. In fact, we will be discussing a little bit of that. But in case you are planning to give each other Diwali gifts, and if you can afford to, you must. We have very exciting Diwali hamper options. There are two of them in our News Laundry store. The link is in the show notes below. And this is going to be available from today, this is the 20th of October, till I think the 10th of November is 20 days. This hamper is available. So do please give Diwali gifts to each other if you can afford to, and give News Laundry Diwali gifts, because not only will you be giving someone something of use and of quality, you will also be supporting journalism, because we don't take any ads. We only plug our own stuff. On that note, let me introduce the panel. With me in the studio is Manisha Pande. Hi, Manisha.
Hello.
Joining us on the phone line, Jayashree from Chennai. Hi, Jayashree.
Hi, hello.
Raman Kirpal joining us from Punjab.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
And on the panel today, we have our guest, Mayuresh Konnur. Hi, Mayuresh.
Hi, Abhinandan, and hi all.
So I'll just introduce you briefly. Mayuresh is associate with the BBC for the last 5 years. He is now a correspondent for BBC in Indian languages, which is the BBC World Service. He's covered national and regional politics, various state and assembly elections, and he started his journalism journey in 2007, 1 year before Lehman. So on that note, let's get the headlines. Jayashree, will you please do the honors?
Yes, here are the headlines for the week. The 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano case were released after approval from the centre. This is what the Gujarat government told the Supreme Court in an affidavit on Monday. The Delhi High Court on Tuesday denied bail to activist Umar Khalid in a case pertaining to an alleged larger conspiracy behind the riots that took place in February 2020 in Delhi. Meanwhile, rape convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim got parole for the third time. He also held a virtual satsang attended by BJP leader and the former Haryana mayor.
So basically all three are court-related headlines, and it appears that rape clearly is not an offence for which you're completely out in the cold politically. Because this guy always gets parole before elections. He does these satsangs which political leaders attend. So clearly he still carries weight, and there's no embarrassment also in kind of being associated with him.
I think remission of sentences should be the norm if convicts have displayed good behavior, whatever criminology principles apply. But like with bail, we see it's sort of selectively doled out to people that are favored by the state. And in the Bilkis Bano case also, that entire good behavior theory is shredded, because I think a report said that the convicts each spent thousands of days on parole. So, and Ram Rahim, like you said, gets parole 3 times each time before an election or a by-election. So.
Yeah, and the Indian Express reported that 2 of the convicts actually harassed another woman during that time.
FIR against, when they were out on parole, there's an FIR against them for molesting a woman, although I think one of the channels also claimed it was rape. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Congress has invited Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray to join its Bharat Jodo Yatra, which will enter Maharashtra on November 7th.
Right.
In Delhi, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia was questioned by the CBI in a case pertaining to the excise policy. He also alleged he was pressured to quit the Aam Aadmi Party at CBI headquarters.
So clearly AAP made the most of this. They can create they understand the politics of events, which is what today's politics is. So when he was to go for questioning, there was that photo op with touching his mother's feet, getting tika, then he went to Bapu's Samadhi. He went to 2 or 3 places, and then there was this live feed that they made sure that was carried by all the channels.
In the Congress, Mallikarjun Kharge has won the presidential poll. He will be the president of the party. He also said the Congress will fight against fascist forces.
Shashi Tharoor got some 1,000 votes, which isn't bad, some people were saying.
Yeah.
And he got,
but Shashi Tharoor also pointed to many irregularities and all, no?
Yeah, some booth capturing accusations in Uttar Pradesh. Well, not booth capturing, I'm joking, but some EVM
He also He also said the G23 will have to answer as to why they did not vote for him, which I think is...
That's a bit
he made his
ridiculous.
point.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Next, Kashmiri photojournalist Sana Arshad Matu said she was stopped from flying to New York, where she was scheduled to collect her Pulitzer Prize. She said she was barred from traveling by immigration authorities at Delhi airport.
Yeah, man.
Also in media news, the Supreme Court has issued notice to the Union Government and the Ministries of Law and Finance. This is after a media collective has sought guidelines on the search and seizure of digital devices.
Yeah, and this is the Foundation for Media Professionals, which was set up quite a while ago. And it's fantastic that they're doing this important work. I think it's about time that there's some sort of a process or guidelines in place that how they just can't take anyone's phone and laptop like they took mine.
So yes, next, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud has been appointed the next Chief Justice of India. He will take charge on November 9th. In a squabble that we also play out on social media, Meta has now restored a post on Instagram that The Wire had claimed had been removed after it was allegedly reported by Amit Malviya. However, The Wire has now said it is undertaking an internal review of all its documents related to Meta.
They've suspended their investigations, 3 pieces that they put out.
Yeah, and simultaneously, Share Chat has asked The Wire to also take down an article, its expose on tech fog.
But what is their reason, like, after you, like, I guess over here?
What they are saying is that we never participated in this and no one from Wire reached out. And actually, back when this investigation had come out, there were lots of questions raised on the tech fog story. In fact, we had Saman Bansal who had done a long piece on Hafta back then, explaining why the story doesn't really stand up to scrutiny. So I think they're like, okay, लगे हाथों हम भी अब अपने पुराने वो गिले शिकवे वो कर लेते हैं.
Also, then it got very confusing, because then they said that tech fog is not actually a single app. It refers to a concept.
It was a very, very convoluted story.
Yeah.
In fact, you guys can listen to the Hafta we done with Saman back then, talking about this story.
The link is in the show notes below.
Twitter told the Karnataka High Court that the centre cannot issue general orders to block social media accounts.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Then exciting news from my home state, which is the Tamil Nadu Assembly on Tuesday adopted a resolution against Hindi imposition by the union government.
Yeah, this comes on the heels of Madhya Pradesh making Hindi medium MBBS, right? That is Madhya Pradesh state that did it.
Yeah, they've launched textbooks also in three MBBS topics in Hindi. I think the idea is that they'll launch textbooks in all regional languages, which if done is a great idea. But if it's only Hindi, then... Okay. Also, explosively, a commission that was set up to look into the death of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha has said her aide, V.K. Sashikala, and others were at fault. So I can give you some background on this later.
Yes.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said she does not view the rupee's value as sliding, but as the US dollar strengthening.
But in all fairness, I know a lot of memes have been made, and she's
not wrong.
She's not wrong at all. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's not such a good thing for such a strong dollar for US itself. In fact, The Economist has put out a full podcast on this. That such a strong dollar is, after a while, is a drain on the US themselves.
Yeah, but I think when they heard, it's only just poetic justice. Now she's getting the memes because they spent so much time harping on it.
Yeah.
So people who let off firecrackers in Delhi during Diwali will face up to 6 months in jail. The city's environment minister has announced amidst worsening pollution levels in the capital. However, the BJP has moved the Supreme Court, saying customs and rituals of a particular community are systematically targeted.
The BJP as a party has moved this to the Supreme Court?
No, this BJP MP Manoj Tiwari.
Yeah, only Manoj Tiwari has, because as a party I don't think can, because the environment is their job also. But I will say that the rupee, the fine that goes with it is 200 rupees. I don't get it. 200 rupees or 6 months in jail. I would have thought like 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees or 6 months in jail. What is 200 rupee fine?
Isn't that it?
Easy way to get out of jail.
Oh,
that's ridiculous. There's no 200 rupee challan these days for anything. Even if you're not wearing a seatbelt, it's 3,000. If you're, if you cross the stop line, it's ready 1,000. What's a 200 rupee fine?
What I don't get is that about 250 kilometers away from Delhi, or maybe 100 kilometers away from Delhi, the firecrackers are available all over. I'm in Punjab right now, and they have been selling it. So in case I want to, if I want to buy, I can just buy from here and can go back to Delhi. And
yeah, but I do think it makes a big difference. I mean, how many people are going to drive to Punjab to buy crackers? Yeah. But yeah, we'll discuss this in some detail because I think there are many elements to this.
Roger Binney will succeed Saurav Ganguly as president of the BCCI. Jay Shah will continue as secretary. In the UK, Liz Truss is facing pressure to quit as Prime Minister. Her Interior Minister has resigned. Her party's legislators were quarrelling in the House of Commons. And if she quits, she will be the UK's shortest serving Prime Minister.
And
those are the headlines.
So we have all seen the pictures and the videos on Twitter and Facebook, especially from the Congress social media handles and the Congress supporters. So the first question comes to our mind, whether does such huge crowd really gather? And that was the question in my mind also when I travel with them. And it does. Actually, there is sizable amount of crowd. There is, we can classify this crowd into two maybe parts or types. One which is walking along with the yatra since its beginning in Kanyakumari on September 7th. I think there are 119 Padayatris who are permanently with Rahul Gandhi and who will complete the Kanyakumari to Srinagar stretch for 151 days. They'll walk all the part. And there are other organizations or some Congress Karyakartas who are maybe traveling for 15 days or a month, and they're taking break and they're coming back, something like that.
Relay type.
A sizable amount of population is the local population. So the local leaders are given, I spoke to some of the leaders, some of the Karyakartas who are actually walking with the Yatra. So they have been given kind of a target, or when the Yatra is passing through your taluka or your district, gather the crowd. And of course, there is a part of crowd which is gathered as we gather, as the parties gather them for rallies. But apart from that, the locals also gather. They do rallies in between, not at every halt. Like Bellary, they did have a huge rally, and Bellary is Sonia Gandhi fought her first election in Bellary. So Sonia Gandhi versus Sushma Swaraj fight, we all know. So it was once a Congress bastion. Now they have BJP MP from Bellary. That's the other thing. But when the rallies happen, it's like a huge national picture. Kannaiya do speak. When in Bellary, Ashok Gehlot, Mallikarjun Kharge, Bhupesh Baghel, all the national leaders were there along with Rahul Gandhi, and they do make political speeches, including Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi targets Prime Minister Modi with unemployment, with the inflation. So the rhetoric in the speeches in the rally is all political, but when you cross them, when you ask them, they're saying we don't have a political motive. This is for country. This is for country to unite. And when the election will come, we will talk about politics at that point of time. So, but yes, the other thing is, what about people? But the people, if you ask the normal people who don't have any political affiliation with Congress or for BJP or any other party, local party, they are quite interested. They know about the yatra passing from their villages and cities. They know Rahul Gandhi. In fact, I met some people who said until then they only knew Sonia Gandhi and Indira Gandhi, but this is for the first time they knew about Rahul Gandhi. As a reporter, I would really like to see, once the yatra crosses the central India, say Maharashtra, and once they enter Madhya Pradesh and the North India, then it will be nice to see. You have all the crowds, huge crowds. We have seen in the southern state, but what happens in the north? I'll just give you one kind of incident that happened. When the yatra was about to cross the Andhra-Karnataka border, there was a small village and they had a break there. And Rahul Gandhi the yatra was supposed to go through the village and then cross the border. And before he was about to reach that village. I was in a Chauraha with some local peoples, and they were, of course, most of them were Kannadigas. Two of them were from Rajasthan. They were Hindi speaking. And I asked them what they do here. So they moved to this Bellary, which is known for the big cement factories. So they moved here for a kind of, they do a logistical work for some cement factory, and they are from Rajasthan. And for last 10 years, they are living in this village. So I asked them Hindi mein ki what do they think about this yatra, and they started questioning ki kaun si yatra, kya kehte hain is yatra ko. I said, you tell me. And then they said, ye to Bharat Jodo keh rahe na, lekin desh toota kab hai? Why they are calling it Bharat Jodo Yatra? Desh kabhi toota hi nahi hai. That was he was saying. And then most of the village, in that village, I think it is a Congress-dominated village. Some local was standing behind him, and he just interrupted us. He said, "Hey, ye kya keh rahe ho?" In his Kannadi tone, and he said, "No. This is all Congress-dominated part, and we know in Bellary now they have BJP voters also, but because of this yatra, the scene will change. But they may have their own opinions. But I would like to point out, I mean, as a reporter, I was quite surprised. These are the two pictures. One is from the southern state, and other is originally from northern state, who had come down to Kannada for the work kind of thing, for the profession. But they had a complete different view. And so when this yatra enters the northern part, I would really like to see what people think about it.
So I think a few things that these guys are taking, which are, clear now, they've been established to succeed politically, is that your message should be positive and not negative. Whether it's Achhe Din or make America great again, it has to be a positive thing that cannot have any, partisanship to it. Although it's hard in today's, which is why that whole Arvind Kejriwal's Make India number one. Like, you don't have to be a Modi supporter or Congress. Everyone wants to make India number one. I mean, whatever that means, I think it's a kind of slogan that means nothing. But I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it was interesting to see the reporters of the Tonight Show, or whichever show that was, which went about asking Americans that at Trump rallies, so when was America great? Like, you want to make it again? Was it during slavery? Was it, during the world wars? Like, what are you talking about? So it's the same thing. I think they want to put out a message that even a BJP voter will not say, no, I'm against that. Bharat Jodo, of course, everyone wants Bharat Jodo.
It had perplexed all of us, and we had discussed it in the past also, that why he's spending 13 days, 14 days in Kerala, and then why Karnataka, why he's not going to Gujarat, will he go to North? Oh, okay, I mean, the Congress has lost its base in North, so why can't they why don't they concentrate in that area? And I think I had made a point that it will be a little progress whatsoever. Whereas Manisha said that this is quite foolish to, start from Kerala. I mean, just concentrating on the areas where you are already powerful. Now, I spoke to several politicians because it really was confusing for me as well. So I spoke to some politicians, and I spoke to some politicians in Punjab also, and I got a perspective. They say that Congress wants to concentrate on South, Central, and Northeast. And these are the areas where the Congress has not completely disappeared. In North, they have gone down. If you look in terms of the member of parliaments, they have gone down considerably. So they feel that the BJP, if they get all the seats from North India, they won't be able to make to parliament. So why don't we strengthen South, Central, and Northeast, and then we go to the election in 2024 by strengthening these areas? So that is the reason behind this Bharat Jodo Andolan. So that's what I got. In this sense, I got, after talking to about 5-6 politicians, and it makes a lot more sense. Because I also wondered why Kerala, why.
Fair enough.
That's the thing.
I think there's a lot of symbolism that we're maybe overlooking, or maybe that the media might not be reporting on as much. For example, Mayuresh was talking about how he went to Bellary, which has the background context of Sonia Gandhi. So in the same way, I'd like to know how they plotted the route that they're taking, because even in Tamil Nadu, the day before the yatra launched, he went to Sri Perumbudur, which is where Rajiv Gandhi's memorial is, where he was assassinated. Then he went in Kanyakumari, he visited the memorials of Thiruvalluvar and Vivekananda. These are all powerful areas with a lot of history. So similarly, I feel like there would be stories coming out of every route that he visits on his little map through Tamil Nadu and Kerala and Karnataka. But just that I don't know if maybe the vernacular media is covering it and the English media is not. But I think those are stories that would be interesting, because it's not just random electorate located at these areas. It is electorate which comes with a very powerful sense of history connected to the Congress party. So
do they have a website?
I think that's a very clever way to do it.
Do they have a live tracking? Is a website where you can live track?
There's a live website, but it mostly just shows his face, which is it shows him marching the entire day. So you're losing a lot of the background.
No.
The background drama of it.
Tamil Nadu is not a state where they want to compete with DMK. DMK is their ally. So they're very clear about it. Tamil Nadu is not the place they are focusing on, A. And B, the live TV is fine. But if you look at the, videos that they have come up with, the edited ones. So I think you will be surprised that this time the Congress is also doing pretty well on social media. They have come up with very good videos.
So just a couple of points I wanted to add was one on the crowd aspect. I think crowds don't really indicate a deep engagement or an interest in anything. I think Indians just crowd. So even if there's an accident or people squabbling, or even political leaders, when, say an Owaisi comes to UP, even if there's, he has no chances there, he does pull a huge crowd. So people are going to crowd around Rahul Gandhi wherever he goes because there's curiosity about who he is. It's a big yatra. I don't know if it really means a deep engagement in his messaging or what they're trying to do here. And, this thing that this is a non-political yatra and this is not for politics is classic Rahul Gandhi and classic Congress, because I think they just basically want to protect him from any sort of criticism that may come his way when it comes to electoral results. Because you're going to have Gujarat and Himachal and it doesn't seem like they're doing really well there. So questions are also going to be asked about what the party was doing when these two major states were going to elections, especially when they did really well in Gujarat last time. So it's easy to say, no, this is just our message to the country. But I think this is central to the Congress's problem. Like, how does a political party achieve its ends? If you have a certain vision of India, how do you make it a reality? By being in power. So that intention to be in power, you cannot just say that there is no intent. You can't look down at it, basically. So, or this reluctance to say that, no, we do want power, we do want to win elections. If you're not even going to put that intent out there, then I don't know what you're going to do. And I think that what the Rajasthan guy said, the two gentlemen said was pretty interesting. Ki Bharat toot kahan raha hai? Like Bharat to juda hi hai. And I do think a lot of, and this is the discussion that we had the first time when we discussed Bharat Jodo, that maybe price rise and unemployment are really issues that everyone can connect with in India today. If you go with an unemployment messaging across the country, some catchy slogan around youth and unemployment, I think it'll connect with everyone because this is a very apparent problem right in front of us. But for a lot of people, Bharat nahi toot raha hai. It's probably for minorities. It's probably for liberal-minded, English-speaking folks, critics of BJP, but not for the vast majority of India. I don't think it's a chief concern that Bharat toot raha hai, to Bharat ko jodna padega.
All of you listening in, the Chhota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the News Laundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to News Laundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoro. Not to brag or anything, but News Laundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.